Well, let's turn our focus on this Danish team. We've praised their bravery, their character, their unity many times. But I want to talk a little bit about their football and perhaps Denmark being the most improved team in the knockout stages. 10 goals scored, 2 conceded. They're not just here to fill up the numbers, are they?
No, they're not. And we've seen that they've managed to change things around. Ever since, of course, Eriksen was out, they've managed to turn things around, play that in a way to their advantage with the spirited team, the word that comes up so much when we talk about Denmark at the moment. And we've got the lineups that have come through as well. And I think it's going to be tougher for England than against Ukraine, especially when we look at their defence. They're going obviously with that back three that they have there.
But is this a lineup that might play into England's hands with the space in midfield?
Exactly, that's the thing, and I think there is going to be a lot going around at that point. And when England does come up further on, they're not going to have. I can see England with as we talked about with who they've got up front, possibly blasting through that defence in obviously Denmark's disadvantage. But of course, they've got a world-class goalkeeper in there who's able to count on the men in front of him. He'll be there. He's part of the action, and I'm sure that Schmeichel, of course, will be looking for. Trying to impress anyway a few of his home players in front of course, many who he knows in the Premier League.
Well, for weeks, we've been hearing the famous footballers coming home song from English fans. When asked about whether they could stop football coming home, Denmark goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel gave a tongue-in-cheek response.
You'll be particularly aware of the phrase, it's coming home. Now, what would it mean to you guys to stop it coming home tomorrow night?
Has it ever been home? I don't know. Have you ever won it?
1966 it was home.
Well, was that not the World Cup? And to be honest, I haven't given any thought to what it would mean to stop England more than what it would do for Denmark. To be honest, I've focused very little on the England national team. It doesn't really mean anything to me. It's what it would do for our country back home.
I mean, that's a very dry response from Kasper Schmeichel, James, but perhaps it actually shows the intentions of this Danish team. You know, they're going there to win.
It does. And of course, Schmeichel Senior, who has been there and has won the title in his place, I'm sure he'll be wanting to follow in his father's footsteps there. I think what it shows is that Denmark isn't going to sit back and let everything happen. They're very much going to go forward, and they've got the elements to be able to do it. Whether it's from the midfield, from Mæhle, we know he can move forward. He provides those crucial assists, and he's of course one of those right-footed left-backs that we've heard a lot, we've seen a lot about in the tournament. And yeah, generally in front, Damsgaard, who came in for Eriksen, he's a very different player. He's said how much he idolises Eriksen, and he's certainly filled in those boots in a just way. And again, if ever things aren't going well for Denmark, they will be able to bring in from the bench more pace. Poulsen, who will be on the bench, decided not to bring him in tonight. So I think it's going to be a question of seeing how the first half goes. If they need to make those changes at half time, they've still got this plan B that they'll be able to bring out. But they're going to put on a spirited challenge because they've got no pressure in this, and they were told it from the early stages after losing, of course, their star man, that there were the head coach wasn't expecting anything from them, and that somehow has managed to help them in the way. So reaching here, they've already won in that sense, and we've seen how their celebrations in the previous rounds. I think one thing that I'm hoping is that maybe some film crew behind the scenes filming all of this, because it could be made for a pretty amazing documentary.
Certainly, Denmark have been one of the mascot teams of the tournament, first team in the history of the Euros to reach the knockout rounds after losing their first 2 games, and England, who will be presenting Denmark with a tribute to Christian Eriksen and obviously the tragedy that almost hit us and brought the football community together. James, thank you very much for that analysis. We'll be back after the game to dissect the results and to preview the final. For now, bye-bye. Stay tuned to France 24.